Right. So for one part of the incident first assignment, the part is asking about a flow chart. So I will include a quick video if you've never used Word to make a flow chart or whatever, a quick video I have for that. But really, it's just putting in the boxes. And I kind of alluded to that in the video for assignment one, the first one, but this is in response to someone's question. So later in the course, it goes into a lot of detail about like the direct cause, indirect, and then root cause, right? So I'm just going to talk about this image really quickly. So the direct cause, disperse, right? Like pretty straightforward. Indirect cause, there's a bunch of stuff here. It could be unguarded machine, broken tools, defective PPE, untrained worker, lack of time, too much work, fails to train, fails to inspect, fails to report injury, ignore hazard, horseplay. So some of these are more likely, and there's a bunch of other indirect ones as well. For this assignment, really, hopefully there's a few of these that are popping out your head as being like, yeah, that sounds like this case. Definitely, that's why I included the orientation thing. So like training is always a thing to question when there's an incident. Like, was the worker trained? Was the supervisor trained? Was equipment inspected? Like all those kind of things are probably the things you should be asking about. And then it gets into like those are indirect causes, and then the root cause is like where the safety system failed. So like I said, like later on in the course of this, if you don't do this flow chart correctly, I'm not going to deduct a ton of points because it's like I kind of want you just to try doing it before we do a bunch of it later in the course. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I'd like you to think about it in this case before we're later in the course, right? So, because this is the first assignment, and actually, a lot of people complained in the past that we didn't do enough of this in the course. So, that's my response is to do more of it. So yeah, I can upload this clip. Really, it's just trying to figure out which are the indirects. So if I was going to pull up a like the Word document, so if we pull up Word, so I don't remember if it's Appendix B or A, but Appendix B, and then insert shapes, and then you can start inserting your text, right? So so zip disk burst is what? So we can say is this box is way too big. I'll do it that way. Insert shapes, put an arrow in. Wrong shaped arrow, but insert shapes. And there's a bunch of different, there's squiggy arrows and all this kind of stuff, but you can, I always just do one arrow and then I copy paste it so it's the same size. So you can center this shape and go on, right? So, and then insert shapes, and then you can put it in different colors or whatever, but then, right, like, so what, let's go back to the image here, and we have broken tools, untrained worker, right? So we could have like, then what? And I intentionally made this assignment have a lot of issues. So like some of you might pick out some stuff that's a bit different than someone else in the class, because there's actually more wrong with this assignment. So like untrained worker. So So that would be kind of my thought process. So I'll just blow that up. And then, so like the direct cause is that, and then this should be probably centered. This, center this shape here. And then, you know what I mean? And then just have 3 columns. So really it's the same work in answering the assignment as if you wrote it in paragraphs, but it's just really quickly and then, yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm looking for. And then you just have 3 of these or 4 or whatever, and then write about it in your paper, kind of, right? So like, I don't want to go on and on about this, but I wanted students to try figuring this out for this assignment, just because later on it's a bigger part of that, and it's maybe less clear in assignment 2. Anyways, so hopefully that added some clarity to the situation, and yeah, and that's kind of some thoughts I have for the Appendix B, I believe.